Jaya Vijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Nita Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaura, Hari Bol, Nita Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaura, Hari Bol. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे। So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your feet. I'm very grateful for giving me the opportunity today to speak from Bhagavad Gita on this very first day of the new year of 2021. And I will, on behalf of ISKCON Manchester, I welcome you all to our Friday Bhagavad Gita class. Today's topic we have entitled as Fresh Beginning One More Time. We have done so many beginnings in our life, Some beginnings were successful, some beginnings were not successful. And we are doing one more beginning. The first day of the year is a fresh beginning, one more time. We have done last year also one beginning. The year before also we have done beginning. So we'll talk a little bit about time. What is time, and how we can use in the service of Krishna, and how we can utilize the energy of time. The energy, time is energy of Krishna. How we can use so we can come closer to Krishna for our ultimate benefit. So we'll begin with the Mangalacharan, and after that we'll be reciting couple of shlokas from couple of shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, and we'll carry forward from our discussion. Hare Krishna. So we can begin our Bhagavatam Mangalacharan now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna everyone. So once again I welcome you all to our first class of 2021, our Bhagavad Gita class, and we title as Fresh Beginning one more time. We'll be sharing a couple of shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. So let's see if I can get it on the where have I got it? Just a second. So this is the one shloka. We'll be reading the 8:16, chapter 8, verse 16 of Bhagavad Gita. So we have a few devotees here. If anybody would like to read the translation and the purport, just one devotee, if you'd like to read the translation and purport.
Can I read?
Yes, Meena Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Krishna. Translation. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Purport. By His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. All kinds of yoga, karma, jnana, hatha, etc. eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice called Panyachagni Vidya, is it correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baladev Vidya Bhushana in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita quotes this verse.
But you can skip the Sanskrit, just the English translation.
Okay. When there is devastation of this material universe, Brahma and his devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. So translation again. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So, in this shloka, where Krishna says, there are quite a few things are mentioned in this shloka. One is that there are various planetary systems. It says highest planets in the material world down to the lowest. So it says first information we get that in this planetary system, in this universe, there are higher planetary systems and there are lower planetary systems. And what are the common things between these both the places? Where Krishna says, all are places of misery Either you're in the highest planet or the lower planet. Either you're in the first class or the economy class or the third class. Uh, uh, Whichever planet system you are, it's a place of misery. Why it's a place of misery? Wherein repeated birth and death take place. So no matter where you are, there is a birth that one has to go through, and if you're born, your material body will eventually dwindle and you will die. Uh, So, connecting to our topic today, fresh beginning, one more time. So, we have this experience of fresh beginning quite a lot. Uh, um, Everybody knows their birth. Everybody wants to, celebrate the birth date. Uh, Everybody has a birth date. It is there so many places. Our driving license, our passport, so many places we know. That's our beginning. My life in this material world, in this body, started with this birth. Uh, and when we die, we won't be able to see our date of death, but it is there somewhere. So there is a beginning and there is an end. Uh, Similarly, we have so many beginnings and ends in our day-to-day life. Every day in the morning, there is a beginning. uh, and we try to make our day a very fruitful endeavor. We go to the job, to our profession, or any other activities that we do. We want to use our time. So when we are wake up in the morning, that's a fresh beginning. And before we sleep in the night, we have certain few hours of active consciousness where you want to achieve something. So there is a beginning in the morning, then the end at the night. And of course, then there is the month. You know, every month, so many things happen. Bank statement comes, then the new month starts. The salary comes, or the mortgage we have to pay. So every month there is some beginning, some end. Then there is a year. So the beginning of the year is there. So many things happen. uh, People do so many resolutions. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Some resolutions go some distance, some doesn't go some distance, some doesn't even take off. So we have some beginning at every year, at beginning of the every year. And then there are various other beginnings in the life that we see right now. The government, they are beginning this Brexit. We are exiting British government in the United Kingdom. It is coming out of European Union. That's a new beginning, a new chapter, in the government. Mm. And then in everybody's personal life, when a child is growing up, he enters into the school. It's a new beginning. He enters into the school with the expectation that I'll gain something, I'll get education, and it will make my life better. And then there is another beginning when he enters into a secondary school. There's another beginning. Then he enters into the university, another beginning. Then he grows up more, then he gets married. There's another beginning. Uh, then the children's are there. There's another beginning. So there are so many beginnings are there in our life. So the point we want to drive home today is that so many beginnings we go through our life, uh, with the expectation that something great will be achieved with this beginning. Some beginnings are successful, some beginnings are not successful. Uh, but what is the verdict of Krishna? You know, according to, so whatever, so many beginnings that we have in our lifetime. So in the shloka here, Krishna says, Abrahma Bhuvanar Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest. All are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. So we begin our endeavors in our life with some expectation that my life will be better. But the verdict of Krishna is that this world is a place of misery. Doesn't matter which place you live in. Why it's a misery? Because there is a birth and then there is a death. Uh, and we in the right now in our human society, our what is our lifespan? Our lifespan is on average about, we say 100, but now I think rarely anybody lives till 100. If somebody reaches 80, they say, oh, he has a very good, innings. 80 is a nice many years to live. But mostly people die by 70, 65, and nowadays people die by 50, and there are even trends that people die by 30. So in this life that we have on the planet Earth, we might be thinking, oh, I don't have a long enough lifetime. Otherwise, I would have achieved something more. Huh? So then we get the information, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, that in the higher planetary system, they have a very long duration of life. In the Svargaloka, in the heavenly planet, their time duration or their time dimension is in a different scale. In the heavenly planets, our 6 months, the 6 months of our Earth planet is the 12 hours in the heavenly planet. So they live a very long lifetime. And above the Earth, there are 7 more planetary systems. So Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Svargaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, and Brahmaloka. So as you go higher and higher, your time scale is increasing more and more. So the highest planet where Lord Brahma lives, the Brahma's lifetime is 311 trillion years and few billion years on top of that again as well. So it's a very long lifetime, 311 trillion years. Then the people in the heavenly planet, they also have a long duration of life compared to us. But then we see in another species of the life that there are certain bacteria or worms. They are born at the sunset. In the night they are born, and by the sunrise next day morning they are dead. So within these few hours, they are born. They grow up. Then they nourish their body. Probably they have children, and they get old. Then they die. The entire their life is finished within 12 hours. Uh, our life finishes it within 70 or 80 years. The demigod's lifetime finishes in according to our calculation, maybe few thousand years, within 10,000, 30,000 years, their lifetime is. And compared to us, the Brahma lives 311 trillion years. So when we're talking about time, everybody has different scale of time. But in the eyes of Krishna, uh, however, it doesn't matter how long you are living. As long as you are living in this world, is a place of misery. Why? Because birth and death is taking place. So this is not the world that we should be making longer plans to live in. So let's not make this class a bit more pessimistic and a bit more sad class. So uh, when Krishna says it's a place of misery, and it's temporary, uh, and we try to make a longer plan, actually we are, Krishna, many places we are mudas, we are foolish. If we know this place is a temporary and miserable, why should make a longer plan? Hmm? Rather, let's make a fresh beginning once more time, that we live in a such a way that we don't have to take this birth again. We go home back to Godhead. Uh, So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, if the Shloka, he mentions, I read those lines again. Prabhupada says, all kinds of yogis, karma, gnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection, bhakti yoga, or Krishna consciousness before they go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Now, these are the very important lines. Please listen carefully. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on the earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahma Loka, Chandra Loka, and Indra Loka fall down to earth. So wherever we go in this material world, it is not a very happy place. By doing some nice pious activity, the living entities from the Earth planet, they'll elevate it to higher planets. And in the higher planets, because if they don't cultivate the Krishna consciousness, they come down to the Earth planet. So in the future, and the next few lines in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that everybody is expected in the eyes of Krishna to perfect their lives and go back to Godhead, because this world is not meant for us to stay longer than necessary. We have to just understand this world is not meant for me, and realize that and go back to Godhead. All our endeavor to become happy in this world will never be successful. This is what Krishna's verdict is. This world is temporary and full of misery. So we shouldn't, go beyond Krishna's opinion. We shouldn't say, okay, Krishna maybe doesn't know how to live in this world, but I know how to live in this world. It's a foolishness. We shouldn't be, be more overconfident on our own ability. I once heard that in this world there is 100% failure rate. Nobody has ever been successful in becoming happy completely in this world. And we give this example of Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad Maharaj. The Hiranyakashipu, in on a materialistic calculation, he was the most successful person. He was so successful that he had conquered all the planetary system except for the planet of Lord Brahma. The entire universe was under his control. And he had, conquered all the demigods, all the, we're talking about Indra and Chandra, and the Surya, they were all under his control. But he couldn't control his mind. And because of that, he offended Prahlad. And the story goes that Narsimhadev came and he annihilated Hiranyakashipu. So if the Hiranyakashipu, such a successful person, cannot survive in this world, what is our value? So we shouldn't be hopeful of this world to make any, realistic progress in this of becoming happy in this world. So this is the first part of our class, and the next part we'll be talking from the ninth chapter, Sloka 22. So I will share that Shloka on the screen. If anybody would like to read that, they are welcome to do so. And if, yeah, this is the one here. Somebody can just read the translation and the purport.
If nobody is willing, shall I just continue?
There is somebody raised
fantastic.
the hand. I think
Lovely.
Swami Prasad.
Yes, Prabhuji, me, Prabhuji.
Okay, you are disguising yourself as your husband.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Please, Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve that they have what they have. Purport. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never come back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable conditioned life.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very kind of
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you. So this is a very beautiful shloka, one of my favorite shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Translation again. Krishna says, "But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have." Huh? So here we get information from the pages of Bhagavad Gita that to be have a ultimate success in our life, how we can achieve that. So Krishna says, those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form. So if our life is dedicated in service of Krishna and we are meditating Krishna on his transcendental form, then we are eligible for the ultimate success. Now, what is the ultimate success? The ultimate success is to go back home, back to Godhead. And for that one, Krishna says, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. It's a very, soothing and very reassuring promise by Krishna. Krishna says, to them I carry what they lack. So first he's saying that whatever you're lacking in an effort to come back home, back to Godhead, I will provide you. And whatever you've already achieved, I'll always protect you. I preserve what they have. So this is actually Krishna talking in the terms of how to go back home, back to Godhead. Also, we can also see that Krishna, of course, provides the material possessions that is required, to live a reasonably comfortable life in this world. So Krishna will definitely provides, whatever we lack, Krishna provides, and whatever we have, we preserve that. But essentially, as we see from purport of Srila Prabhupada of the Shloka, Krishna is saying, to them I carry what they lack. So once we are engaged in the service of Krishna, and in our endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead, whatever we are lacking, Krishna will provide. And what are the things we lack? We lack the enthusiasm. We lack the dedication. We lack the strength to carry on our spiritual life. So whatever we are lacking, that Krishna will provide. And it might so happen that we might not be able to successfully go back to God at the end of this lifetime. So then that does not mean that all our life is wasted, and there is no fruit. So Krishna in the earlier part of Bhagavad Gita, he says that those who cannot finish their devotional life in this one lifetime, in the next lifetime they are given a birth either in a very aristocratic family or in the house of a self-realized Brahmana. So the living entity, he can carry on his devotional life from what he left in his previous life. So the same thing Krishna is saying, I preserve what they have. Whatever progress we have made in one lifetime, Krishna protects that. So we never lose it. So if we have made 5% progress in our spiritual life in going back to Godhead, and if we cannot finish, the next lifetime, we are given a better facility. We are given a birth in a aristocratic family, so we don't have to work hard just for our material necessities. We can give our full time, into our Krishna consciousness. Or we are given a birth into a very self-realized Brahmana. So again, all the facilities are provided, so we can carry on our devotional service, what we left in the last lifetime. It's a great mercy of Krishna. So here, this again reassuring that Krishna says, I preserve what you have. So whatever success we have achieved in one lifetime, it is always protected. But to those who are engaging with faith and worshipping Krishna in a personal form, then when you become devotees of Krishna, then Krishna does that. But if you are living a life away from Krishna, not in Krishna consciousness, then we are just subject to the laws of this material nature: birth, death, disease, and death. Uh, Sometimes higher planetary system, sometimes lower planetary system. Sometimes good karma, we enjoy the good result. Sometimes bad karma, bad result. But again, the whole cycle goes on and on and on. Sometimes you are in the higher planetary system, sometimes on the earth, sometimes in lower planetary system. Go round and round and round. Uh, Whatever you do in this world, uh, it is going to come to an end. I wanted to speak on another shloka in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says in the, I think, 11th chapter, where he says, "Time I am the destroyer." So in this world, whatever it is created or manifested, it gets destroyed sometime or the other. And that it says, time destroys everything. It dries up the whole ocean if you give a certain time. It smashes the whole mountain to powder in a few years' time. What to speak of the mountains and the oceans? Even the whole material planetary systems and material planets, they get destroyed when Brahma goes to sleep every night. And when Brahman dies after 311 trillion years, even the entire universe gets destroyed. So what's the point in investing so much of our energy in creating or aspiring for those material benefits and achievements? It's going to get taken away from us anyway. Uh, we spend so much of our time, studying hard, and becoming a profession, either IT consultant or a lawyer or a doctor. uh, and yes, we should, have a very nice, comfortable life. And but with these achievements, becoming a businessman or a profession, uh, it just gives you a very temporary benefit. Once you die, once you leave this body, the next lifetime, again you to start again from the zero, again from the same school, A, B, C, D, F, G, again go to the university, again get the degree, again the same whole thing again and again. Uh, so here we cannot say, that Krishna preserves what we have. No, it gets destroyed. As soon as you leave this body, everything gets destroyed. Your education has got no value. Your reputation, your influence is lost. Uh, uh, your house, all your material acquisitions, they are lost. You cannot take anything with you. Not to speak of all these things, even your name is lost. After some time, nobody will know that some person existed. Everything gets destroyed, given a time. So time destroys everything. Time destroys the worm in a 12 hours time. Time destroys our body by between 70 or 80 years or 100 years. And time destroys the whole planets. The sun will be dying, after some time. The whole planetary system will die after some time. Brahma will die. Everything gets destroyed. So why make so much an effort in this place where everything is temporary and everything is miserable because there's a birth and a death? So then we get this wonderful instruction by Krishna that rather say live a life in a way where we are making progress towards going back to Godhead, to Krishna. And in that endeavor, there is no loss at all. Whatever spiritual progress we make, it is there eternally in our credit. Till we finally get qualified to go back to Godhead, those qualifications, those achievements are always with us. And Krishna again, he gives another, very hope-giving instruction. He says, not only I protect what you have, but I give you what you lack. So whatever we are lacking, Krishna is very happy to provide those things into our life. The dedication, the determination, the sincerity, the strength, and other things are, he gives us the ability to understand Krishna's instructions. He gives, Krishna gives the devotees association. Krishna gives the guru. Krishna gives nice temples. Krishna gives nice shastra, the books. Krishna gives everything what we require. But provided what we need to do is that, as Krishna says, but those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, our devotion needs to be exclusive, and meditating on my transcendental form, meditating on Krishna's transcendental form. To them, Krishna says, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So this is what I wanted to speak today. The first part is that this world is not meant for us. We either we are in the highest planet of Brahma Loka or to the lowest planet. All places are places of misery, where repeated birth and death take place. And we discussed about there are so many beginnings. We tried so many things. So many beginnings are there. We tried at the beginning of our life. There are so many beginnings within our own life, our education, our getting married, having children. Then there are beginnings within the planetary system. The government level, there are so many beginnings. So today, we are also beginning a new year, 2021. So it's a fresh beginning, one more time. But let's make this beginning count. That with this year, I want to begin in a way that it counts in my life. So many beginnings faded in the past. Whether it helped us or not, we don't know. But let's start from this year. That I want to become a better devotee. Let's begin with a fresh resolve. I want to become a better devotee. And how do I become better devotee? Get the association of a devotee. In this COVID time, our physical association of devotees are taken away from us. But however it is, whenever and however it is possible, come online. Have a telephone call with the devotees, and try to get that association. Read Srila Prabhupada's book. I tell you from the core of my heart, there is no power which can empower you more than reading Srila Prabhupada's book. If you every day if you read, the dedicated or specified number of pages of Srila Prabhupada's book, it will really give the tremendous strength, to carry on into a spiritual life. Tremendous strength. And then, we have our sadhana. We chant 16 rounds. So those who are not chanting 16 rounds, let's start chanting 4 rounds of Hare Krishna from today. Those who are chanting 4 rounds, make it 8. And those who are chanting 8 rounds, make it 16. But let's have another progress. Let's begin, a next new chapter in our life. And those who are chanting 16 are not initiated, have some determination and and desire to get initiated. Because again, in initiation is a new beginning in our journey into this material world. When we get initiated, we get connected to our Guru Parampara. And actually it is said, when we get initiation, we are just showing to Krishna, I am serious to come home back to Godhead. Because once you take initiation, it's like you are promising Krishna that I want to go back now. And then we take the responsibility, become a responsible devotee. So take the step towards getting initiated. And if you're already initiated, make sure that you are protecting your vows very nicely. Make sure that you are doing your service to our Gurudev, our previous acharyas, Prabhupada. We are doing our services very nicely, and we are giving our full strength, full power in spreading the mission of Srila Prabhupada, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this world. So there is no end in starting something new into our spiritual life. So all this endeavor, I would just like to, summarize in just one word. Let's from today become a better devotee. Our aspiration is to not become a best devotee, because this is something, while I was preparing a class, that the more you become better devotee, you will know that you have so much to progress. Is that, when you are not a good better devotee, or if you're not a mature devotee, then you think that, I'm a very good devotee. But as you progress in your spiritual life, when you become a more and more better devotee, you think, I'm really not a better devotee. I got so much to go through. I got so much to, realize and achieve. Right? So you see, in the life of all the great devotees of the world, the great devotee, if you heard the name of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. He wrote the biography of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's a very self-realized devotee. But in his introduction into Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, I'm a very sinful person. I'm lower than the worm in the stool. Anybody who hears my name, he will lose all his pious credit. Anybody who utters my name, he becomes sinful. So he's feeling so humble, and he says, and I got so much to achieve, so much to go for, so much to aspire for in the life. So as you become more advanced devotee, more progress in the life, you become more humble, and you know that you have to carry on, so many other things to you to achieve. Same with our, our Param Guru Srila Prabhupada. So, he single-handedly started the whole mission of this ISKCON all over the world. So, once he was speaking, in the assembly of his disciples, he said, I'm just an old man, I have no power. But my Guru Maharaj, he sent all of you to help me in my service. Now look at, his humility. We call him Jagat Guru, he's the Guru of the entire planet. But here, he's giving the credit to his Guru and his own disciple. But for him, he has no credit. He's not taking any credit. So I just 8:30 now. So I just want to conclude with this just one summary today. We are beginning our new year now, and we might be at a different stage in our journey on back to Godhead. But from today, let's make a resolve in our heart that let me become better devotee. Whatever I am right now, I want to improve in my devotional service. I want to become a better devotee. And then give yourself, 1 hour, 1 year's time. So when you again come back to 1st January 2022, then we want to, don't have a guilty feeling in our heart. We should have a very, peaceful and satisfying emotion that I gave my best shot. I gave my best to become a better devotee. If we give a full effort in becoming a better devotee, the next year we'll get more strength, and more encouragement to become even more better devotee. There is no end to become a better devotee in this world. The topmost devotee is the gopis. They never think they are the better devotee. Who is the topmost devotee of Krishna? Srimati Radharani. And anybody who approaches Radharani, and then Radharani offers the devotee to Krishna. And how does she offer? She says, Krishna, this devotee is better than me. Please accept him in your service, or please accept her in your service. So even the Radharani, she doesn't consider herself as a better devotee. But we should all try to become a better devotee in our life, and let's start it from today. So I thank you all very much. I am very grateful for your kind attention and your encouragement in speaking on this very important topic on 1st January, it is very difficult to pick up any topic other than fresh beginning. So I'm very grateful to all of you for allowing me to speak on this topic. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shla Prabhupada ki jai. If anybody's any questions or comments, I will try my best to answer your question.
Prabhuji, can I say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead. Welcome.
Yeah, you very nicely explained how association is important. I just wanted to just add to the stress that you put on association. Usually what happens is, I mean, even in the material world, if we don't have anything, we have to obtain it from somewhere. And it doesn't come from like, anywhere. So it has to come from somewhere. So this association that you stress so much, and it is so important. That's where we get our strength from. That's where we get our knowledge from. That's where we get our energy, and everything comes from association. So it's best if it's physical association with devotees, and then that's the best thing. But the other association, which is obviously that not possible at the moment, but reading and hearing, that's a kind of association. And Prabhupada stressed so much on Bani, because Prabhupada said, I won't be here, forever. So hearing, whatever form of association we can get, we have to relish really. Reading, as you said, Prabhupada spends so much time. Prabhupada, they say he only slept like 2 hours, 3 hours a day. Why? Because he spent all his time translating. So he left all his book for us to read. So at least to make Prabhupada, we all so much to Prabhupada, but at least to pay back to what make Prabhupada, that's the least we can do. At least read what Prabhupada, try to put so much time and so much effort. And somebody actually reminded me, sometimes, a devotee, Prabhupada was reading his books, and one of the disciples said, Prabhupada, what are you doing? He said, I'm reading the book. He said, why are you reading it? You written it yourself. He said, I didn't write it. Krishna wrote it. So these books Prabhupada left for us is not written by, was written by Prabhupada, the physical, but these are Prabhupada, the Krishna empowers, by the form of, Prabhupada he wrote. So when we read these books, we just have direct association with Krishna. When we hear the lecture, we have, we get direct connection with the Krishna. So anything that it connects us to Krishna, either through his devotees or direct, to the Krishna. So that's the least we can do. So thank you very much for reminding us again and stressing so much on association. An example, when you call, you have to stick to like a radiator. You can't just stay there and radius is there and you're here and say, oh, I want to get warm. So you have to go near it. You have to, get physical association. So thank you again for stressing and reminding us all the time. I think this association is something we have to be reminded all the time, because we tend to forget. So thank you very much again for stressing and reminding us again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vajkumar Govind Prabhu. You have a very sweet mood, and I'm very grateful that, you're sharing your mood with us. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reminding me of the association. So talking on the association, I would, at the beginning of this year, I would request if we can have little, improvement into our, online culture. We have a culture when we meet physically in a temple, we have a culture. When we meet online, we also have a little culture. Because, I see right now, except for 3 screens, everybody's camera is off. So when a speaker, when he wants to speak, he only sees those black screens. It doesn't give, very much enthusiasm. He used to struggle a little hard, to get enthusiasm. So this is my humble request that from this 2021, if you come online, if possible, and if it is convenient and comfortable to you, you should keep your screen on. So the speaker gets encouragement that at least somebody is there. Right now it is just the black screen, and some names are there. So the speaker gets encouragement. So if you want to start it now, those devotees you want to give your association by your darshan, you can switch on your camera and you can give us your association. So that will really encourage everyone, because we are not physically meeting everyone, so seeing each other online, their face, it will help us, to get this association. I hope you don't mind me asking for this request. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranasha Gopal Prabhu, Pranasha Shri Radha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Santosh Prabhu. It's nice seeing you, Santosh Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay, so Hare Krishna. I don't want devotees leaving this Sangha, because I have to make a couple of very, very important announcements. Already very, very important announcements. So please don't leave. Stay for a couple of more minutes, as these are very important announcements. And firstly, thank you, Radhamohan Prabhu, for taking up this service of giving class. And one point stresses is that become a better devotee. Everybody can become a better devotee. We should have some time to introspect. And ideally, Akrura Prabhu used to say that we should take feedback from others. So we don't take that feedback. At least we should have time to, at least we should take feedback from our own family members. And we don't, so we don't introspect, we don't take feedback. And how can we get a better devotee? So we should introspect, give a little time. There was saying, one guy was cutting the big trees, like, logs, big logs, but he didn't have time for sharpening the saw. He was just doing every day in and day out, trying to cut big logs, but didn't have time to sharpen the saw. So I would say that let's take this opportunity to introspect. Yes, we are all in our comfort zone. Comfort zone is like the thing that we want it to be. But if you want to become a better person, we have to come out of comfort zone. The other day I was telling Sumedh, it was snowing, and it was like when I looked at my fridge, there were no vegetables. And my mind was telling me that don't go, just make some other arrangement. And somehow or other, with a lot of difficulty, I jumped into the car, and then rest all fine. I thoroughly enjoyed, even when it was snowing also. Then I was telling Sumedha, like, life is like that. We try to live in our comfort zone. But it takes little austerity, little sacrifice to come out of that comfort zone and become a better devotee. So let us all introspect, whoever we are, whether we are big or small, it doesn't matter. We all need to improve. Let us sit down and see how we can become a better person and help each other. So thank you. That was the main point for me, like to highlight. And there is some exciting news. Prabhuji was also mentioning about reading books, and our Rajkumar Govinda Prabhu was also mentioning reading books. And the best way to take association is reading books. Prabhupada is living in his books. We can take Prabhupada's association through his books. So at ISKCON Manchester, we have been working very hard for the last few days to see what we can do on this on this point. So over 2020, you can go and see, we tried our level best to include as many lectures as possible. This year, we want to do it more systematically. It does take time, but the time is given by Krishna. If I am putting time, but that time is given by Krishna, we should think like that. So there is quite a lot of effort has been put, and the thing is, let me share the screen. And the plan is every Sunday, most Sundays, like, of course, if there is if there is an event or other things, but generally on Sundays, we wanted to focus on application of Gita series. we take, everybody will be given a topic. This is one less job for the speaker. And they need not to come with their own topic. Everybody will be given a topic, generally speaking. But some Sundays may not be possible, but we'll work it out. So Sundays, application of Gita series. So that's what we are planning to do every Sunday, beginning from this Sunday. On Saturday, we have been associating, meeting once a month, first Saturday of the month, online or physical in the temple. And we have been doing Srimad Bhagavatam. And we did last year 12 Mahajan series. That really went well, and we got some good feedback. And this year, what we are planning to do is, I've titled this as Associating with Pure Devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam series, Associating with the Pure Devotees. We have been, Rajkumar, Govinda Prabhu and Radhamohan Prabhu were talking with associating with devotees. And when we read Dhruva Maharaj, when we read these great devotees, we are associating with them, although they are not physically present in front of us. So under that series, we will be picking a number of devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam. And so tomorrow is the first Saturday of the month, and it is also the disappearance day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. So tomorrow we dedicated the class for Dhruva Maharaj. So that is the first one, and every month there will be a devotee. And again, these will be allocated to a number of devotees. Devotees will be given enough time so that they can read and come prepare. When a person is given topic, actually that person gets most purified, because that person will spend some time to read. That is the main principle. So Saturdays, that's what we are doing. Devotees studying the life and how they lived in difficult times. So that's Saturday. And on Fridays, so I had a little chat with Din Prabhu, and I've asked his help to help me, because there is too much to manage this. There is so much effort goes behind the scenes. Unfortunately, it's not visible. So I've taken a little bit of help of Deenbandhu Prabhu, and we came to a conclusion. On Fridays, we wanted to do Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Merciful Incarnation of the Lord, a series every Friday, because Sunday is Bhagavad Gita. Anybody can come and join, even newcomers. They will take advantage of it. And both Fridays and Saturdays, they will mainly for the initiated devotees, where we can go deeper into these topics and relish the contents. Again, most Fridays, some Fridays may not be possible. Beginning from next Friday, we're going to try this glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, merciful incarnation, and we will be taking topics from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that's the plan. And of course, there will be festivals and other things will be there. So please kindly do take advantage of these classes. And as devotees mentioned, the best ways to do devotion is in the association of devotees. That is the best way. We get motivated. That's it. So from my side, anybody has any comments or anything on that note? How is everybody feeling? Is that a good plan? Nobody is saying anything.
No, I think it's a fantastic plan, but that way we just get a bit systematic. But any chance that the devotee would know the topic so they can at least get prepared and read something about it?
Yes, so that is also that we are planning to do that. You mean the whole congregation? You mean?
Yeah, so people come prepared rather than just to come in.
Yeah, let's see. I will have to discuss with our with Radhamohan Prabhu how we can put this, whether we put that on website or send it in advance. But we got a plan already for a couple of months. We were working through.
Another comment on what Radhamohan Prabhu said about the devotees putting the cameras on.
Yes, we have been mentioning about these cameras. Of course,
that the speaker get actually empowered by by the power. So the actually, in other words, power of a speaker, it goes by it, when the listener.
True. I fully agree.
Listen,
And
then how can they reciprocate by just putting the cameras on? So because if we switch the cameras off, then we get into sort of in a mode of very comfort, stretching our leg and then lying on the sofa. And we have to be honest with you, we have to be in the right mood to listen. You go to a class, you go to university, everything, we have to have a sort of a proper attitude and proper etiquette. We can't be lying on when we're lying on a sofa very comfortably, obviously, our concentration is not going to be as good as when you're sitting, firmly upright and listening. But again, the most important thing, we both benefit. The listener would benefit, and the speaker, when we give the speaker our ears, that's the most service we can give to the speakers. And they get so empowered. So it's actually a win-win. We win, and the speaker will get more empowered, by seeing us actually, because it's not nice when you're talking and just you see yourself on all black screen. So I fully agree with Radhamohan Prabhu, and thanks for mentioning it. I hope we don't come to that stage that becomes compulsory. But it's nice, we're all mature, we're all adults, so let's put our screens on so we show that we're in the right mood to listen. Because
let us all set a good example for others. Gita says, Yad yad acharato shrestha tat tat teva taro janaha. Whatever the great personality does, the common people will follow. Let us try, and set a good example. And I do agree that one point, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada clearly says, the subject matter that is heard of Krishna and Krishna, there is no difference. So between Krishna, if you are hearing about Krishna or you are personally meeting Krishna, there is no difference. Prabhupada repeats this in every purport. So then also it gives a good mood. We will be serious also. Then if possible, for some of them may not be possible if they are driving or whatever, they are doing something else. But most of us can, if possible, open that camera. And of course, definitely, I agree that the speaker definitely gets motivated. Yesterday when I was giving class, I was giving myself, I couldn't see any single one. So I was just praying Krishna to motivate me. And then there's, some words came up. Not easy. It's, so we are not face to face.
I beg every single, I'll go down on my knees and I beg everyone to put the cameras on.
Jai. So please, he's our dear Govinda Prabhu is begging everyone. That is the right way. That is the right way to request. We all beg each other. Wonderful
when it
request.
comes to the physical, I'll kiss your feet and I bow down and you just.
Jai. Nice way of requesting. That is, you already become a better devotee today. You already became a better devotee and setting a good example of a better devotee. Put monthly quiz. If your husband is ready to make quizzes, then let me know if he has some time. And then Madhavi Mataji, then yourself and your husband and your family, if they have little time to put the quizzes, then please feel free to come, and then we will guide you for that. So Hare Krishna, that's it from me. And of course, Govinda Prabhu, thank you very much for that humble request. It does help. And we actually benefit seriously, when we seriously hear, we can see that transformation. Actually, the benefit, we will benefit rather than speaker, I would say, when we hear, we will definitely benefit. Okay, so that was a little bit of long discussion. Yeah, so this new year, so takes advantage of all these classes. We had Sangha yesterday, we have Sangha today, we have Sangha tomorrow, we have Sangha day after tomorrow. So devotees are being tired, not being tired of organizing, but to attend these classes, devotees are being tired. Excellent. So Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
we got class tomorrow as well?
Tomorrow is the first Saturday of the month, isn't it?
Ah, right. Okay, Prabhuji. 8 o'clock, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, did I? Because I spoke quite a lot of things and devotees must have missed it out. But tomorrow, Saturday, first Saturday of the month, we have class, Srimad Bhagavatam class, and that will be on Dhruva Maharaj. And tomorrow is also the disappearance day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So please do come and participate. Actually, at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam class, we all should actually discuss a little bit. Every class, we should discuss, and that way it is fruitful. When we were doing in the temple, we were trying to encourage, to discuss these classes. So if you have time, we can discuss at the end. But please do take to join tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Ki
jai.
jai.
कृपा सिंधु